Well, we're here at Uttoxeter Race Course in one of the plush exec boxes, and the countdown to the biggest meeting of the year here at Uttoxeter, the Midlands Grand National, on Saturday. Now, in the build-up, there was a bit of a scare because Cheltenham on one of the days was looking a bit ropey. Thankfully, it's gone ahead because that could have impacted so easily on Uttoxeter Race Course at the weekend.
It would have. Well, Cheltenham were making their contingencies for racing on a Saturday potentially due to the expected gale force winds on Wednesday. That, of course, would have impacted on Uttoxeter, which is our showpiece event, the flagship event of our calendar. We're a little bit nervous about it, and it would have been a real shame. So much work goes into this meeting, and I'd have just really felt for the staff, the ground staff, all the work that they've put in. It really is our chance to shine on national television, so I'm delighted that Cheltenham got the go-ahead.
No, you won't need any reminding of what the weather conditions were like last year. Fingers crossed it won't be the same again this time.
Well, this meeting never seems to be easy, and the way the British climate's going, March appears to be a very unsettled month at the moment. But no, I can't expect Siberian conditions, which we endured last year. We'd take a few showers, that would be acceptable. We've nearly got a sell-out crowd. It's going to be an amazing day. There's so much entertainment that we've got planned, so it's not just about the racing, which is, of course, the core product, but all around the racecourse there'll be activity. And, of course, the better the weather, the more people can enjoy it.
Have the preparations gone then? Bearing in mind that you had a meeting not too long ago, didn't you, because of what happened in terms of you lost a fixture back in February?
Yes, we had an extra fixture in February which went really well, and we did a special offer on the gate and had an amazing crowd, really. The preparations for this meeting, it hasn't been perfect because of the weather, because of the high winds that we're forecasting to be almost right up until the day. We're having to step back from putting a lot of outside bars up and tents and gazebos, and we're waiting to the very last minute. So Friday will probably be a very late finish for us all.
Now, this Midlands Grand National is a special one this year, of course, isn't it?
It is. The first running of the race was 1969, won by Happy Springs, and I believe a very youthful Bob Champion was in that race. But the race has come on leaps and bounds since those days, 50 years ago. I think the prize money in that first year was £1,541. We're now looking at a prize fund of £150,000 for this race, and there's £270,000 available almost on the day. So you can imagine how that's come on. Obviously, Stan Clark was responsible for a lot of that. This meeting used to be run in May. Now it's in March. It comes at the end of a fabulous week of racing at Cheltenham, and it's really nice that the TV companies and the media are now accepting it's 7 days of wonderful racing, not just all about Cheltenham.
And Uttoxeter always pulls out the stops, and you've certainly done that in terms of the prize fund for the weekend, haven't you?
That's right. We wanted to give trainers a little bit of a problem in whether they run the horses at Cheltenham. So I keep pushing the prize money up of the Midland National, and I'm going to continue to try and do that. And that's why we're getting some excellent entries into the race, which has got a rich history. We've had the Thinker, won it in 1986 and went on to win the Gold Cup. We had Ragtrade, a Grand National winner, and of course in 2010 Synchronised, a Gold Cup winner, and probably my favourite horse and the best horse I've seen run at Uttoxeter. So we're always looking out for a future champion in this race.
How pleased are you that this race has grown over the last few years especially?
Well, when I arrived, I think it would be fair to say that the Midlands National was a race in decline. Cheltenham racing on the Friday hadn't helped us. It didn't used to race on a Friday, and we used to get a huge Irish contingent coming up to Uttoxeter. That had stopped. I think they've had enough racing and gambling by the time Saturday comes. So what we did was we targeted this meeting at the Midlands. So it's the Midlands Grand National for Midlands people. And you can see from the ticket sales, Derby, Nottingham, Stoke, Burton, 40% of our crowd come from Stoke. And I think that's how we've changed it. We did an offer with the pubs. I think 4,500 pubs get emailed, and they all start signing up for it months in advance before Christmas. And hundreds of coaches come from good old working men's clubs and traditional pubs in towns and villages across the Midlands. So it's got a really good feel about it, and I do describe it as the Midlands National for Midlands people.
And what a lot of people don't realise is you play a massive role in the local economy here in Uttoxeter with the event that you put on the Midlands Grand National, don't you?
Absolutely. We double the size of the population of Uttoxeter in one day. The coaches roll in at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. Every single cafe and pub, bed and breakfast, hotel is fully booked out. And I did a little exercise when I saw how much Cheltenham said they were worth to the economy in Gloucestershire. And I reckon it's £4 or £5 million to the wider Uttoxeter Staffordshire economy that this race is worth. So it's valuable. Most of the people here really appreciate it and the extra business. And this race meeting actually keeps a lot of businesses going. It keeps them viable because they do so well over the weekend.
And what are the preparations like at the course? Because you take on additional staff on the day as well, don't you?
Yeah, it's very difficult with a population of 13,000 sourcing staff for an event that will have 16,000 people here. But we have some really, really good local staff. We have a great staffing manager, but we do have to go to a wider area and use a lot of agency staff, so they'll be shipped in. A lot of them will probably have worked at Cheltenham during this week.
And your major restaurant here, that's fully booked out and plenty of meals will be served on the day, won't they?
Every single restaurant is fully booked. Every hospitality box has been taken. It's a really, really popular meeting. And it's the start of a fabulous run at Uttoxeter. We've got Madness coming on May the 18th. We've got a fantastic ladies' night and a ladies' day to look forward to, and hopefully some sunshine.
As you say, a big day for you, and it's one that Uttoxeter, the people come out, they enjoy it, don't they? And it's one fixture that people certainly look at and think, wow, you get the top trainers here and the top jockeys here.
That's why we were delighted that Cheltenham were able to race on the Wednesday, because it would have caused a conflict with where jockeys and trainers go. But yes, it's well attended by top owners and trainers, and we always hope that we get a really good name to win the big race.
And the day itself, how does the build-up go for David MacDonald?
Well, I think the planning for this one has been really, really difficult with the weather. So it's ensuring that all the team are doing the right things. But I've always got to have my eye on safety. That's a big thing. I'm responsible for thousands of people coming into our race course. So if I'm having any sleepless nights, it'll be because of that responsibility. But it's my 12th Midlands National, so I'm fairly relaxed and well versed in what needs doing. And actually looking forward to it. I really enjoy the big days. That's why I got into this business. Coming from a leisure background, I love the big days and I thrive on them. So I come into my own on the big day. It's an early start, not as early as my clerk of the course will be here. He'll probably be here, before 6 o'clock in the morning. But it's a long day. Probably a 16, 17-hour day, and we give absolutely everything. And I think that's really important to thank all my team and the staff that put so much into delivering this day for so many people.
Well, certainly one eye on the weather forecast.
Absolutely. More than one eye. I'm literally looking at the weather forecast every 15 minutes.